Finmin sources tell us rather that the FIPB has cleared AirAsia's investment proposals. Mind you, there's flashes all day today or news bits all day today about the fact that there is not too much of a problem. They'll have to look at the nitty-gritties of the deal, but in principle, the aviation minister had stated that FIPB there would be no hurdles to AirAsia and Tata Sons JV. I think Mrinalini has got the details and she joins us right now with the perspective. Mrinalini, fill us with the details.
That's right. The FIPB has cleared the 80 crore investment proposal of AirAsia to set up the JV with Tata Sons. What we are being given to understand from Finance Ministry sources is that earlier there was some ambiguity on whether the FDI and aviation rules are applicable to new JVs or only existing companies. However, Finance Ministry sources say very clearly that ambiguity has been clarified. There is no such rule in the FDI and aviation saying that this is applicable only to existing Indian companies, which makes the application for AirAsia very much in line with the rules that are there, which is why the FIPB has gone ahead and given its clearance to the 80 crore investment proposal by AirAsia for 49% FDI in this JV that they will have with Tata Sons.
When do we start flying an AirAsia flight, Mrinalini?
Finance Ministry sources indicate that they will now have to go ahead and take all necessary regulatory permissions from the DGCA as well as the Civil Aviation Ministry, and once all of those things are in place, they can start operations.
Let's also bring on board Mr. Ajay Prasad, the former Aviation Secretary, for his comments and views on this information. Thanks very much for joining in with us. Mr. Prasad, to start off with, the FIPB nod has come in for the AirAsia Tata Sons JV. If you could just walk us through what you make of this move, because it is certainly going to be seen as a big positive.
Yeah, I think it is a positive. It will bring an advent of a new start in aviation. We have AirAsia is a very successful low-cost carrier, and coupled with the financial muscle of Tata and their management capabilities, etc., I think it will be a successful venture. And I think it will bode well for the consumer also, gets another choice. So I think I welcome this development.
There are a couple of voices. In fact, we have Mr. Nikhil Vora with us as well, Mr. Prasad, who was just speaking to us. An analyst before that spoke to us as well. And they said not just from a consumer perspective, but also from the perspective of how people or companies outside would look at aviation deals in India. This is a big step. If this wouldn't have happened, it would have been a bit of a negative. Would you agree with that in principle?
Yes, I think so. I mean, it would have sent a very mixed signal and to other possible investors if this had not been cleared. Now at least one gets that impression that India is open for business, and other airlines, other carriers can also consider equity stake in other carriers or even new startups. Because there was a question also whether, the new policy will cover new startups or only for existing airlines. But I think that doubt has also been set to rest now.
The aviation sector, as we all know it, it's highly regulated. It's an unprofitable sector. What would be the incentive for a foreign airline to come in?
So this is basically now, the competition here had become less with Kingfisher ceasing operations. So there was a space for a new airline to come in. I think this AirAsia Tata venture will fill that space. And secondly, as we have been talking earlier, it sends a very good signal to other investors that India is open, available, and to do business. And more investment will be forthcoming, I think, in the future. And not only in aviation, I think it sends a very good signal for other FDI investments in other sectors also.